All right, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Once again, if you like this content, you can obviously help me out. Like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Also, check out my other channel, Wisdom and Brews, relatively new. Shorter snippets on personal empowerment and spirituality. Helping yourself and taking good care of yourself is kind of a lot of what that is about. A lot more lighthearted and personable videos. So today in this video, I'm going to talk about co-parenting with a high conflict ex. Okay. Now the high conflict ex, as I've said it many times, but in case you're new here, is often someone who may be narcissistic or borderline, have a narcissistic personality disorder or borderline personality disorder. And co-parenting with these folks is a little bit of a disaster. Excuse me. It's a mess. It's messy, right? And so a lot of my content here is to kind of help people navigate these situations. When it comes to doing my counseling, my therapy work as a mental health professional, this is not my favorite thing to do. It's very challenging. Quite frankly, I offer a service that it's very, very difficult to find. And frankly, I don't love it. It doesn't get me out of bed in the morning. And the reason why I do, frankly, is just because I want to protect kids. I think we need to do more to protect children and kids in these situations. So this video has to do with co-parenting in these situations. Now, usually you have like the narcissistic parent, and then you have what I call the apologetic parent. Now, when they were married or in a relationship, they were enmeshed. So you have the conflict parent, and then you have the codependent parent. And the codependent parent is usually the one that seeks help. And often, and I've said this in other videos, they kind of give me that deer in the headlights look, because the help, it does not come in the form that they either A, expect, or B, think that they want, or C, believe that will actually be helpful. And obviously we have to go back to the brass tacks, bottom line. If you knew what to do, or if you knew what was going to work, then you would obviously do that thing. And what's important to keep in mind, and I talk about this all the time, okay, if this is your brain, I'm going to do the right hand this time. This is your brain, okay, you fold back the frontal lobes, and what you have is the middle brain. You have the middle brain, okay? The limbic system. When you have an overactive limbic system, you're just irrational. You're illogical. You're unreasonable. You're frantic. You're anxious. You feel like you have to solve this right now. Right now. And so it's this parent, when they're in that heightened fight or flight, frantic, desperate state. And again, I wish these folks, by the way, would seek me out when they aren't like 6 miles down the road, because they have this big giant mess that takes a long time to clean up, and a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of stuff to focus on, and changes to make, and they want quick fixes because they're anxious. They want relief, which is why I always tell them, focus on self-care. You must calm your middle brain, your limbic system. This is fight or flight, trauma, memory, anxiety. This is your primitive brain. When it's overactive, it's going to be very difficult to make good decisions. You must engage in self-care. I'm a big proponent of meditation. Daily meditation. Meditation is proven, and proven through even my own personal experiences, to calm the limbic system and help you be more rational, less reactive, and all that stuff. So here is sort of the brass tacks of this video, is because I want to talk about how the apologetic parent is often extremely protective. And when I talk to them about being this protective and like, you have to choose your battles, they almost look at me like I'm crazy, but I have to protect them. And quite frankly, that's sort of their identity. The identity of the caretaker, that's who they are. And asking them to notch down the caretaking is like asking them to discontinue breathing, almost. It's their identity. And so they are really wrapped up in even the minutia of this, of a lot of what's going on. I mean, some of the things that I hear where it's like, Okay, well, I don't love those things, but it's not perilous. And if you come at it like it's perilous, you're going to create other problems. What you have to understand as well is if you're overprotective, it's super insanely easy to gaslight you. And when it's super insanely easy to gaslight you, it's super insanely easy to create parental alienation. You're not going to be able to protect the kids at all if they just like split, they leave. I'm going to go live with dad, or I'm going to go live with mom, and then they are completely outside of your circle of influence entirely. It's extremely easy to gaslight you. And this is what it looks like, right? If you're overprotective and of all the minutia of things, what the high conflict parent often does is they go, oh, well, you know, your mom or dad, right? Meaning the one I'm referring to is apologetic parent, right? The narcissistic parent is always in the kid's ear. Oh, they're so controlling, don't you think? I can't believe how they are so controlling. They're just, all they want to do is control you. They don't care about you like I do. They just want to control you because they're controlling, right? Just spin this narrative over and over and over again, and then when you get super, super involved in being overprotective, see, kid, I told you that they're controlling. And I've seen this so many times. And so when I say, hey, you've got to choose your battles. You can't be so protective. But again, that's their identity. It's hard for them to turn off. But again, if you're soothing the limbic system, meditation, coping skills, de-stressing, that type of stuff, and engaging in stuff that helps you calm down and see things from a more rational mind, you're going to feel less frantically overprotective, because this is the solution. What I tell these folks, the overprotective parent here, is you can't be protection minded, worried and protective minded. You have to be resiliency minded. You have to treat situations and your children like they're tough, like they're smart, like they're empowered. You must teach your kids how to discern for themselves. It is erroneous to think that you can protect them from everything. In fact, you cannot. You will not. But this protectiveness is part of the identity. And if that parent fails to protect properly, they feel like they failed as a parent. Like I've let my kids down. I failed. I'm not a good parent. Or, and they're more self-conscious, right? And then it becomes about them. Is that they're protective so that they feel like a good parent, not necessarily seeking what's good for the kids, right? So here's the thing. Resiliency minded. You cannot protect them from everything. The more you try, the more that you're going to get gaslit. They're going to gaslight you on that, right? They're going to convince the kids, oh, well, your mom or dad has this control issue, and they've got a real bad anger issue as well, right? Because the worried parent is often an angry parent. Like, if the kid disappears and they have worried themselves sick, what happens when the kid shows up again? They yell at the kid, don't ever do that to me again, right? And then suddenly, oh, see, I told you they had an anger problem. You've got to soothe your frantic limbic system mind. You must learn to be resiliency minded, and teach skills, and teach them. Rather, gear yourself towards bouncing back, learning, creating wisdom, taking the lessons, being supportive, being a safe place to land. And if you're worrying yourself sick constantly, you're just not going to be that safe place to land. If you're frantic and worried, your kids are going to be frantic and worried. And plus, the overprotective parent, what I've learned over the years, because I do a ton of work with kids, it implies to the kids that the world is dangerous, a lot more dangerous than it actually is, and that the kids are incapable of protecting themselves. And those are not messages that I think are good for kids. Resiliency minded. Be resiliency minded. Okay? So you might be, if you are the apologetic parent, the caretaking parent, I have a lot of terms for it. If you kind of fall into that category, you might be overprotective. Okay? Solution, self-care. You must focus on self-care. Okay? I'm a professional. I know this stuff in and out. You got to trust me on this. Okay? Thanks again for watching, and we will see you next time.